Hello and welcome back to another session for coaches here at the Mall of America's signature event happening in Minnesota this weekend. My name is Brandy Bollinger and I am a senior team engagement manager with the REC Foundation. That means if you are a coach and you need help, I'm here to help you. Our presentation that we're coming at with for you today is the top 10-ish things that every coach needs to know. I started off this presentation with 10 things, and then we had the REC Foundation Event Partner Summit, and we learned some new stuff. So now it's like 12 things or something. It's 10 or more things that you need to know. All right, so number one, let's get right into it. The difference between REC Foundation and VEX. All right, so I actually work for the REC Foundation. The REC Foundation is a non-profit business whose mission is to help coaches get resources so that we can empower students to engage in science, technology, engineering, math, and computer sciences. So all of our support is for coaches, events, grants, the qualifying criteria, and judging. If you have questions about any of these things, someone at the REC Foundation is happy to help you. If you're looking for support with hardware, software, product sales, support, game design, anything like that, you're going to go to VEX. So if you're having trouble programming your robot, you could just watch the session that Robert put on how to program your robot in 10 days, or sorry, 10 minutes, not 10 days, 10 minutes. Or you can head over to the VEX Knowledge Base, which we're going to take a little bit of a deep dive into a little bit later. If you're looking to order equipment, get support for that equipment. If your brain isn't working and you need to figure out why, VEX is the person that you're going to want to go to. So in the end all be all, there is a great partnership between VEX Robotics and the REC Foundation because we support each other. But just knowing the difference between the two is an important thing for you to learn as you are a new coach starting out. Next important thing, how to get more out of Robot Events website. Earlier today, we did take a deep dive. Jared and I took a deep dive into Robot Events and some of the great features that are on Robot Events, which is the website that you can go to register your teams, register for competition, search for events and teams in your area. One thing that a lot of people don't know, and I get a lot of emails about, is our map search. So if you are looking to find teams in your area and you're more of a visual learner, you can go to robotevents.com/map and use the search function on the left side to toggle between teams and events in your area. And then you can also use the drop down to search for teams from previous years to see if there have been teams or have been events in your area. The other thing you can do is look for events on Robot Events. So my favorite feature in the Robot Event search is on the left side when you're putting in the criteria of the event that you would like to search for. If you scroll all the way down to the bottom, you can actually select only events that have open spots. So if you are looking to register for an event, this will be very helpful to you. Number 3, how to utilize the REC library articles. Now that we know the difference between VEX and the REC Foundation, we can understand that there should be different sets of resources. REC Foundation library articles are going to give you information on coaching, events, volunteering, information for students and parents on your team. So if you are looking for something like what's in the qualifying criteria, our organization structure, anything like that, you're going to find that information on the REC library. You're going to find things for robotics, for notebooks, for judging, for anything that you need to know about going to competition, getting ready for competition, and what will happen at the competition. If you are an event partner, you're going to find the event partner certification there, all of your planning resources, and any materials or forms that you're going to need to make your event successful. For volunteers, you're going to get your training and your certification there. So if you're thinking about becoming an event partner, you'll find that certification there as well. Then for you parents out there, you can find information and learning resources for your students, information on scholarships, and a lot more information on the REC library. I would totally recommend that you take a look at it. It can be a little bit overwhelming. There are hundreds of articles on the library. Just use the search function at the top to help narrow down what you are looking for. If you don't find what you're looking for on the REC library, odds are it's on the VEX library. The VEX knowledge base of all of their articles are broken down, as you can see, by program. So if you are a VEX IQ coach, student, or parent, you can click on IQ and it will take you to a host of resources for getting started, like what kind of programs you're going to need to utilize in competition, help you understand your equipment. It's going to teach you a lot. There are STEM labs there, which include activities that you can use your robot to do to learn more about the system and the sensors and the electronics and the mechanical aspect of it. If you're an educator, there are a ton of classroom activities and classroom applications. So if you're transitioning from classroom to competition or competition to classroom, there are a ton of activities that you can utilize to make your team and your class better. Let's be honest, I was a teacher for a long time, and who's got time to write lesson plans? Not me. Who wants to write lesson plans? Not me. Well, guess what? They're already written for you. All you have to do is navigate to the library, search for the STEM labs, and they're there. It has checklists, it has rubrics, it has all of the information that you need right on there. So make sure you take a look at that. Or maybe if you're a parent and your kids have a robot and you know it's getting toward the end of the summertime and they're bored and you want to give them something to do, stick a STEM lab in front of them. They'll have a great time. Then mechanical and coding, there's a ton of resources on there about how to build things, how to create different structures and mechanisms. There's instructions on there for some of the hero bots, which we discussed a little bit earlier today as a great start for you to learn a lot of the skills for building, and then a lot of coding resources like templates and tutorials and troubleshooting guides for you. The next thing I want to talk about is the Drive Team Member Certification course. A lot of us think, hey, we've got a certification to become an event partner, a judge advisor, a coach. What about the students? So they can actually take the Drive Team Member Certification Coach, which is a modified version of the head referee certification, so that they can learn a lot more about what an event is going to be like and how calls are going to be made, learn a lot about the game manual, those kind of things. So if you are a student on here, I would highly recommend that you do this. Me as a coach, our team uses Google Classroom as part of our resource management. I actually go in and assign this as an assignment to all of the students in Google Classroom and have them complete the course, and then when they're done, they take a screenshot of their completion and upload it as part of the assignment. So this is a great way for you to engage your students in your classroom and out of your classroom, and at the same time prepare them for competition. Next is helpful Facebook groups that you can join. I'll give you the REC disclaimer. The REC Foundation does not monitor any of these Facebook groups, nor are we responsible for any of the content that is posted on these groups. They are self-moderated. But they're also really helpful. So if you are a coach looking for some networking opportunities, or maybe you're looking for some specific equipment that's hard to find, or maybe you have a bunch of equipment that you're not using anymore. Maybe you're an IQ team that's graduating up to VRC and you no longer need your equipment and you're looking to rehome it. The Facebook groups are a great opportunity for that. You can find them on the internet. I would highly recommend, if you are looking for a great one, the VEX World Coaches Association is one of the best ones that's out there. It is actually moderated by some of the fine folks here in Minnesota, as well as some really great volunteers in the VEX community. You'll find a lot of really great information on there. But again, the game manual, the official Q&A, your team engagement manager, and your event engagement manager are going to be your official stance on anything, not necessarily what's written in here. All right, number 7, the REC Foundation Student-Centered Policy. As a coach, when you register your team, you're going to check a little box that says, I have read the Student-Centered Policy. I'd recommend that you actually really do this. This is really the core of what makes REC Foundation VEX programs different from a lot of other robotics programs is that we are student-centered. The mission statement of some other robotics programs is that they're mentor-based. The adults are the ones doing the work for or with the students. We're here in the VEX Robotics competition, we're student-centered. The students are the ones doing the work. And if you are a coach, I highly recommend having all of your parents read this document, because there's a lot of really great examples in this document of what is and is not student-centered. We hear a lot too about violations of the student-centered policy, that it could make you ineligible for awards, or it can look bad on you if you're not student-centered. But the opposite is also true. If you really are a truly student-centered program and the judges at events see that, that makes you more eligible for some awards. That might make you stand out to the judges and receive a judge's award, or maybe put you higher in the ranking for, let's say, an excellence award or an innovate award. A lot of really cool awards that being student-centered can get you. Number 8, the importance of reading and following your program's game manual. As a team engagement manager, I get a lot of questions like, hey, what are the age? I have a kid who's 8. What programs can they participate in? Or, I have a middle school team. How old can the students be on my team? All of those answers are going to be found in the game manual. I also receive a lot of emails like coaches who are like, I just inherited a giant closet of stuff. I have no idea what any of this is. I have never seen some of this stuff ever in my life. Help, Brandy, help. Can I use this? There are links and information in the game manual that will give you access to the knowledge base to let you know what is and is not legal for use in the competition. I get a lot of questions here about what is and is not safe. You will also see a lot of questions on the official Q&A, which we'll get into, about, is this legal to do? Is this a legal strategy? Because, you know, it might chop a kid's finger off. Odds are, if it might be unsafe, it might hurt someone, probably not a good idea. But if you want the official ruling on what the Game Design Committee or GDC thinks on it, check out the game manual. All of those S rules are for safety. All right, qualifying structure and criteria for events. I get a lot of emails. Hey, Brandy, will this event qualify me? Or what do I have to win in order to qualify for my state championship, event region championship, or the world championship? The link to the qualifying criteria and structure for event is in the game manual. And it varies based on the event that you go to and what awards are being given at that event. So check out the game manual. The last one is very important, especially for new coaches. Knowing how to place students on a team based on the robot that they built, or moving students from team to team because they need to participate in a different area because the dynamics of your team has changed. So make sure you check out the game manual and read all of that. There's a lot of nuances in there that the students might not necessarily pay attention to because they're not part of the tournament, but you as the coach need to do this too. So a lot of coaches come to me and they say, well, the game manual is for the kids. They're the ones playing with the robots. But you as a coach also should be aware of what is going on in the game manual, because it affects how you should be coaching your team and what is and is not legal for you as a coach to do. Number 9, accessing the official Q&A. Anyone can access the answers on the Q&A with a simple Google search. Why would you need to use the official Q&A? Because sometimes the Game Design Committee, when they write the game manual, might leave something out. They might miss something, or maybe a coach or a student, somebody will point out that this is not correct or that it needs clarification. And how that happens is through the official Q&A. So coaches have the ability through robot events to post and access the official Q&A to ask questions. Jared and I earlier today did a section on a deep dive into robot events, and you can learn a lot about how to post on the official Q&A and how to access the Q&A by watching that video from earlier today. All right, so a lot of times there are questions that aren't in the game manual that you might need to have clarification on. So this is the procedure, which was described by Grant Cox, who's the chairman of the Game Design Committee, he kind of explained at the REC Foundation Event Partner Summit how the GDC goes about answering these questions. So you can check out the video that Jared and I did earlier on all of that. Number 10, how to edit your team profile and team contacts. You as a coach can update your secondary financial contact in Robot Events, as well as change the name of your robot and your team in your Robot Events account. If you need assistance with changing these, please reach out to your team engagement manager. If you're here in Minnesota, that's me. If you're not in Minnesota, go ahead and go to robotevents.com/support and find out who your team engagement manager is, and they'll gladly be able to assist you. And last, big change for this season for all coaches is the team registration deadline. Registration will close for the season on December 15th this year. That means that you need to be registered and paid in Robot Event, just registered and have your order finalized in Robot Events by December 15th this year. You can either have a PO processing, use credit card, or have used pay later, but you have to be registered by December 15th this year. This is because event partners need to know how many teams are going to be registered so we can ensure that we have enough events for everyone. And these number of teams that are registered will be used for deciding how many spots each region gets to the World Championship. So it's very important that you register by this deadline. I know there are some states, especially like rural states, where they've registered after December 15th. So we're going to move you guys all toward that December 15th deadline and ensure that everyone gets access to events. All right, and that is my top 10 plus 1 things that I have that I think every coach needs to know. And again, I can't state enough, if you have questions or you need support, the VEX Robotics community and the REC Foundation community is full of people that can help you and are willing to help you. I highly recommend that you find someone in your area that you can reach out to form friendships, to form networking, to attend their events, to let your students get to know them, because this community is fantastic. So that's all I have for you guys today. Joe, do you know if there's any questions in the chat? All right. So if you guys have any questions, this is your opportunity. Anything throughout the whole entire day today, if you have any questions or you need access to any of the resources that have been shared today, Mr. Dowland, I think you're going to be posting a lot of that out on your website? Question mark? Awesome. So thank you guys so much for joining me here today, and I look forward to hearing from you.